thanks to all of you guys who managed to stick around through lunch. We always get a bit of a decline after lunch hour, but we recognize that we'd much rather have people for a half day than for not at all. So, and those of you guys who are here for the afternoon are in for more of a treat. We're going to move now into the sort of a grab bag session, out of our focus session into our Everything Goes session. So we're going to start this afternoon with BLM Leadership Update from Colleen. Colleen is new since last year's Science Almost Went Away. Let's see, do I see her? There she is, yay! And Colleen is going to tell us a little bit about her history. She's maybe made the biggest career change of any of us in the room, so I'll let her tell about it. And also just want to welcome her since this is her first time meeting with us in this venue. Welcome and thanks for coming.
Hello, and thank you very much. That's a wonderful warm welcome. As Ida mentioned, I did recently have a pretty big switch. Wanted to just kind of introduce myself and give a brief background. So Colleen Bergmanis, I'm the new assistant field manager at BLM. I literally sit in Karen's old office. Small world. My background is I have an associate's in something. I can't remember what it was. A bachelor's in geology and geophysics from the University of Hawaii at Manoa, and then did a couple stints. I started out in engineering, actually with Humboldt State, and moved to Hawaii to finish out my degree there, and then I got my master's there as well in natural resource and environmental management with emphasis in soils. So that's my education background. After Hawaii, moved to northern Bavaria, Germany, and worked for the Department of Defense. So was taking care of about 85,000 acres of active training land, live fire training land there for two, obviously live fire training installations. About 9 years later, we were asked to move. So landed, actually I really wanted to come here. My mother's been here for about 13, 14 years. There's very competitive, it's difficult to find positions here. So went to Colorado Springs with the U.S. Forest Service, did a stint there. Elevation was a no-go, so needed to find another position, and something didn't come up here, thanks to Karen trying to find another position. So thank you very much again, it's a small world. Feel very fortunate to be here. My partner Jeff has also come picked him up in Germany, ex-tanker, good guy. We're very, very happy here. So that's kind of me in a very small nutshell. I'm not Jamie Lopez, as you probably noticed by now. My apologies. Our field manager is currently conducting his required wilderness training, and he won't be back till tomorrow. So he will be coming back fully trained up on wilderness. So if anyone has any questions for him next time, we can go from there. Margie Guzman, who I'm sure you all know as well, she was just called on the fire. So she was actually going to participate in this, and I learned yesterday evening that I would be doing this in her stead. So, and it's good to know that there's PowerPoint, because next time I hope to be a little more prepared. Right now I just kind of have some talking points that I was kind of given. So I'll just kind of quickly go over those. We do have some new hires, one of which is yours truly. We have 3 new technicians. We have a range tech, a veg biotech, and a hydrotech. We have some, along those same lines, the office has been realigned, our working paradigm. Instead of having managers for each conservation area, we now have Margie and I are assistant field managers, and we are in charge of all Tucson field office land management responsibilities. But instead, so to accommodate that, we're now going into non-renewables and renewables. So Margie is the renewables assistant field manager. She's in charge of hydrology, grazing, veg management. I am in charge of the non-renewables, which is cultural heritage and recreation, our park ranger staff, and realty, so anything having to do with lands procurement and permitting. So that's a new one. Let's see here, what else we got. Recent projects, I was asked to just kind of mention that we did have a Chiricahua leopard frog workshop in Los Angeles, and we also just did, as was talked about earlier, the wet-dry monitoring. Springa San Pedro happened last weekend, very successful. Stayed pretty late in the day signing a lot of volunteer forms. I did not personally attend, but it's very successful. And this past week we did it at Los Angeles, so also very successful wet-dry monitoring. We had about 3 small fires up until yesterday, so now we have a couple more. Mostly near the lower San Pedro River area. I don't know what the current extent of the fires are now, but the earlier ones were pretty much less than an acre, so nothing too severe. We did have one bigger one called Silver Fire, also in the lower San Pedro River area. It was about 220 acres. All were on BLM, but apparently very close to the San Carlos Reservation. NEPA updates. Los Angeles Landscape Restoration EA should be heading out to the contractor by the end of this month and should be out for public comment not too far thereafter. Notices will go out to the interested publics. I'm not sure if that's a complete sentence. Keystone Burn EA is in its final stages and planning on getting prescribed burn lined out for next year. Vegetation projects that are planned for 2020. We have some mesquite bins in the Los Angeles, mechanical, and we have one at the Arab Airstrip. That's a prescribed fire, another prescribed fire at the Keystone Peak. I'm sorry, some of these areas I'm still learning about where they are. So the Salt Cedar and the Springa, the Ironwood, and the Tucson Urban Lands are all planned for chemical fires. Total target acres for 2020 is about 5,500 acres. And that's up for fire. Projects that have been kind of going on lately and are proposed for the near future. We have National Public Lands Day coming up. We won't be able to do these projects on the Lands Day themselves because of temperatures, but within the upcoming fiscal year, dates to be determined, we have in cooperation with the Empire Ranch Foundation, we have a project in Los Angeles, which will be working on the Discovery Trail and the Hired Man's House, some brickwork, and due to the sawmill fire, the Chiricahua leopard frog nursery was unfortunately burned, so we're going to be removing the infrastructure of that. And in the San Pedro Riparian National Conservation Area, in cooperation with the Friends of San Pedro, we'll be doing a nature walk and a fire hose, fire capability demonstration. So that's the notes that I was given, but if anyone has any questions for me, I'd be more than happy to try to answer them. Yes, Ms. Sims.
Do you know if there's plans, and maybe Dennis knows too, if there's plans to replace that leopard frog area with just a small pond that is more interpretive pond that have been talked about in the past, but I don't know?
Right now, really the idea is to kind of clean up the infrastructure. I know we have our frog specialist, Mr. Sims, you might know him. It's kind of been brought to my attention that that's kind of it's been proposed.
Okay.
But it certainly isn't off the table, but we don't have any constructive plans for that. Anything else? Well, I'll be around for the rest of the symposium, so if anyone has questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Yes, ma'am.
Do you know if the airstrip burn is in the area south of the airstrip where the bird dog people were using?
No,
Okay.
Margie really just told me that it's just RX basically, so
Okay.
as those fires generally are called, but specific locations, no. And I really don't think I can. My knowledge of the area, I guess I'm still learning that where those would actually be physically located. So, yeah.
Do you know anything about the disposition of the Empire Ranch Field Station? I know there's been discussion of sort of its status and what to do with it.
Absolutely. So we have obligated funds for the abatement of the place. It's really not something anyone can go into right now. It's in pretty deplorable state. But the plan is moving forward to, you know, to actually rehabilitate it. Empire Ranch Foundation, it will be funding that. BLM will be funding the, like I said, the abatement process. My understanding is that should be done by end of this calendar year. Again, though, actually, it's one of my questions for my boss when he arrives on Monday, to ask like exactly where that is in that status. So I can't give you any more than that. But it is in the process, and you're exactly right, that's the plan. Good questions? Anything else? Okay, thank you again very much.